What's going on, guys? So I wanted to kind of touch on Bitcoin. I haven't really kind of covered this in a while, and lately I've been kind of focused on some published videos that I'm working on. But there was some big news with Tether that had happened just recently, where it kind of shook up the markets a little bit. So I just wanted to cover this a little bit. So basically, there was some controversy over the stablecoin, and a lot of it had to do with kind of these court filings that were going on with Bitfinex, and that caused a pretty big drop in the market. So if we're looking at just at Bitcoin and just looking at the market, let's look at the last 7 days. There was this huge dip. So it was like it had really been climbing, like 55, 56, and there was a lot of optimism, and then just fell off a cliff with that news. Recovered a little bit, but it's kind of been in the 52 range or so. The volumes with Bitcoin have been steadily climbing for quite a while. So if we're looking at, like, you can kind of see this a little bit, like in the last year, you can see like things have really kind of like bottomed out here, in the last quarter. But if you look at like some of these spikes in the volumes, when you're looking at this in comparison, I think I had done I was kind of looking at this. I think it was like January 4th or so, I want to say, was kind of the peak in volume that we had seen. You can kind of see here. So let's kind of zoom in here a little bit. So back January 2018, I think, it was like right here, the 6th or so, like 24 billion or so, kind of roughly, like that kind of been the peak. It kind of been up there a few different times, and we haven't seen that for quite some time. So the market, as you can see here, let's zoom this in here. The market had really kind of bottomed out, a little bit of a surge, kind of in the teens or so in April. And then we'd been in this really long bearish market, and it really seemed to bottom out right in mid-December. So right about the 14th, December 14th, December 15th, we're seeing like 3,200 Bitcoin, and that was about probably the bottom. And slowly it's kind of been climbing here, and then we got recently, in April, we saw a pump from bright as it kind of was climbing up towards 4,000. Boom. It came up to 5,000, and then we've seen just recently just a huge surge in the volume this is kind of an interesting trend here. So I'm not like a technical analysis guy, and I kind of look a little bit more at like the macro cycles. There's a lot of guys that are much better and more tied into the market when it comes to price predictions and whatnot. I think mainly what I'm kind of looking at is, I see this as like, I don't see the prices dropping back down to the levels that we had seen in December. And the markets tend to go in these kind of huge cycles. So I put this article in the description below. This is, you can see these uptrends and downtrends. So 11 to 12, we saw 48-week uptrend, 22-week downtrend, where, they retraced 93%. There's, it tends to really cycle back, and takes a long time for it to kind of gather enough steam to get back to kind of where it's at. So, I mean, for me, like, this is kind of, I feel like kind of bull market. Like, I didn't really see a whole lot of opportunity in a lot of the altcoins, and so I just was pretty much out of, or I didn't see opportunity in Bitcoin. I was seeing more opportunity in the altcoins. So I didn't. I got out of Bitcoin. I was into a lot of altcoins. A lot of them didn't do as well. So perhaps if I had stayed in Bitcoin, I might have done a little bit better. But that's kind of the risk with crypto. And I was much more getting into a lot of the Ethereum-based projects. A lot of the earnings platforms, they're Ethereum-based. So that's kind of been my focus lately. It's been we've been seeing a little bit more in Tron, and let's take a look at Tron. Like Tron is has been kind of hasn't really broken over like the 3 cent price point, but again, like kind of following those same kind of market dynamics. Hit a huge spike in January, and again, kind of this April, May, and then there was just this long bearish cycle. And but I think we're kind of seeing a little bit of an uptick here in terms of volume. So like the Tron, Ethereum, Bitcoin, those are kind of looking like really some of the I guess the more conservative picks. I think like the Bitcoin dominance is another thing to kind of look at. So if we're looking at the overall market, I've kind of covered this in depth a little bit before at different times. But there was, once we had seen 2017, kind of the springtime, it really fell off a cliff here, where there was a lot more interest in the altcoins, a lot more activity in the Asian markets. And then it kind of climbed back, kind of like peaking right here, where there was all of that, this was post all of the forks and all of the things that were going on in that time frame. So that December peak, we had seen about 60% in Bitcoin, and it fell off here a little bit. But recently, like if we kind of zoom in, oh, that's not going to work. In like the last month or so, like we've seen a lot more activity in Bitcoin's dominance over the total market cap. You can kind of see this a little bit. This is kind of looking at the last few months or so. Like you can see, like it's starting to kind of come up a little bit, around 55%. So the other project that I've kind of been looking at has been Bitcoin Hex. I wanted to kind of get to a point where I can hodl some Bitcoin so that you're able to claim during that claim phase. It's still like a month and a half away. I think that I've been trying to kind of get into some of the botting stuff with like NovaChain's T-Rex, what they're doing with their high frequency trading bot on Binance, but haven't been having the best results with that lately. And what I may end up deciding to do is kind of take whatever I've got in my Binance account and consolidating into Bitcoin for the snapshot phase. So we may see around that time, or the lead up, for that time, if there's enough adoption in that project, we might see a little bit of a price spike kind of tied to that project. But lately, the big one has kind of been the trading with Tether. Tether has been a little bit all over the place, though. So, like, if we're looking at all, I thought this was kind of interesting. It's really kind of been pegged at that $1 price for a long, long time. Then, it's been a little bit shaky for the last several years, and the news that came out was kind of indicative of that. I thought this was kind of interesting. So this was, I put this in the description below. Perfect storm for Bitcoin right now. Democratic socialism. You've got this modern monopoly money theory, quantitative easing into infinity. All of the baby boomers retiring. So you have a lot of those entitlements that are skyrocketing. The 2020 election, U.S. interest rates over expenses more than the tax receipts by 2022, and BTC halving in 20. So we haven't seen like a recession, an economic recession in basically since 2008, and so we're kind of overdue. Usually those are around 10-year cycles or whatnot. So there's a lot of theories that in the next economic recession might trigger another bull run with cryptocurrency. You know, as if a lot of the financial markets are suffering, a lot of these kind of outside factors that are impacting the markets on crypto pricing. I'm checking the chat a little bit. Tether's a joke. Move on to True USD. Yeah, that's a Ethereum ERC20 based. I think that's a good bet. I don't know how many people have been really like looking at or adopting that compared to, because Tether's at like, let's take a look at this. Tether's market cap still, you know, almost 3 billion. And then let's see where True USDT is. You have this USD coin, True USD right at third or 32nd. I don't know how. Let's see how many markets it's in compared to Tether. Let's do a little side-by-side comparison. So True USD. Still, so there's 161 markets we've got for True USD. Let's take a look at Tether. So it's about 400 or so. Might be more than that, but yeah, certainly if Tether has a lot of these issues that they're having right now with some of the controversy, like there was this was kind of an interesting picture. Tether responding to New York Attorney General's action earlier today. The ruse obtained without notice or hearing, an attempt to compel Bitfinex or Tether to provide certain documents seeking certain injunctive relief. So the court filings were written in bad faith and are riddled with false assertions, including as to a purported $850 million loss at crypto capital. So all stable coins are crap. Just ask yourself how they maintain the price. It's a scam. They're not like backed by a whole lot. If they don't have at least proof of that, I think that's been a lot of the criticism behind Tether. I mean, one of the big things I was theorizing is, you know, it's only going to take like 3 billion or so from like a major bank to get behind like some sort of stable coin. Perhaps we might see that with JP Morgan's shitcoin that they're coming out with, which is going to be a stable coin. Arbitraging supposedly has their own, blockchain stable coin, like first of its kind stable coin blockchain. We'll see how that gets rolled out. I don't think they're putting that kind of money behind something like that. Neither would the bank that is on board with that. But it does look like it might be something that might be an innovation in the space. But yeah, just like if we look at, I mean, the markets have been up, you know, lately, but 3-4 billion. If there's enough liquid capital for a bank wanting to put something behind, stable coin of that size, they can get into the top 5 in the cryptocurrency market, and that's enough to really make a name for themselves. Moonberg, all those. My girlfriend's getting into Moonberg a little bit, but that's about all I had. Like I'm working on this video. I think I'm gonna get it out like probably tonight. So for those of you guys that are back in the U.S. Waking up, I'll probably be out. Then I think I'm gonna do another kind of premiere. I'll do like an hour and a half before it premieres. I'll post the vid, and people are welcome to come in and kind of chat up a little bit. But should be a good one. It's funny. It's been a lot of fun kind of working on some of these. So I've been getting more into being like a crypto director or something. making some of these movies. Uh, I don't see a whole lot of that out there. I think that would be a fun thing to get into. A lot of work, but man, when I've been going through and doing some stuff, so it's fun. So I think you guys are gonna enjoy this. That's gonna be the next video coming out. Pretty much. Oops, there goes my Wi-Fi. Let's get in a circle. Oh man.